Welcome to section 3 of our blended space learning on the different types of rocks and rock cycles. So just to review, we've talked about the rock cycle, what makes up a rock. Yesterday we also talked about igneous rocks, and today you just completed an activity on igneous rocks. So now we can move on to sedimentary rocks. So our essential questions are, how do sedimentary rocks form, and how would we classify and identify sedimentary rocks? So, sedimentary rocks are made up of broken or weathered pieces of rocks that are formed through the deposition of those weathered pieces of different rocks and other materials. And some of the materials that form the sedimentary rocks are pebbles, sand, clay, shells, dead plants, and dead animals, calcite, halite, and gypsum. So how do all of these materials create a rock? So you've learned through the rock cycle about this process right here, compaction and cementation. This is actually called lithification. So sedimentary rocks are formed through a process that includes lithification. So if we were to look at that process, we have our weathering and erosion. Those broken down weathered pieces of different rocks and materials are transported and deposited into a body of water where they are lithified and compacted, and we see those different layers of rocks there. So how would we classify sedimentary rocks? Well, there are 3 types, as you've already seen in the videos before this. We have our clastic rock, which is made up of rounded and jagged rock fragments. And actually, that's an example of clastic rock right there, where you can see all of the different types. The chemical sedimentary rocks are made up of precipitates or things that have been dissolved in bodies of water, and so they're made through chemical reactions. That's why they have their name, chemical sedimentary rock. Then our third category is organic sedimentary rock, which is made up of once living things, either plants or animals, in combination with other materials. So again, that's our clastic. Then our organic, you can actually see the seashells and the different organic materials. And then we have our chemical, where you can see that this is some sort of a dissolved salt, maybe halite. Another way we can look at sedimentary rocks is through their texture. You may have cemented sedimentary rock, where you can actually see all of the different types of fragments. Microcrystalline, you can't really tell what fragments and different materials are within microcrystalline sedimentary rocks. And then skeletal, you can actually see some of those organisms are still intact, or parts of organisms. Also, we can look at how different sedimentary rocks form. So they can form near shore from sand, silt, clay, pebbles, and shells. These are some examples of sedimentary rocks that have a near-shore formative environment. You can have offshore formative environment, where we usually have our precipitates and different chemical sedimentary rocks. They can form on land, in caves, or from decaying plants or animals through the process of lithification. And they can actually form in lakes and lagoons from evaporation. So the lakes and lagoons, as they evaporate, they leave behind different rock salts and things like that. And that concludes our sedimentary rock lesson. Tomorrow we will talk about metamorphic rocks.